I'm trying to let my hair dry a little bit so I can do a little twist out. I'm trying to take care of my crop, bitch. Anyways, I hope all is well. I am back just to relax after earlier dragging Nicki Minaj. I really just wanna just recline, just lean into my ease. You know, that's really my plan. But I'm hella grateful that I have been learning how to care for my natural hair. Oh man, like I just think about how like it took me so long to get to this point, but now I know manuka honey, water, coconut oil, shea butter, rose petals. That's all I need. That's all I need. Hey Mish, what up? Hope you're doing well. Ooh, and Aussie Moist. The Aussie Moist, the one with the avocado and the one with the peach. Lowest of keys, but manuka honey and some water. If you don't got manuka honey, that's just fine, bitch. You don't have to have no manuka honey. It's not that fucking deep. But if you can get it, it's just a little thicker. I don't know if you noticed lately, but honey been real thin lately. So that's why I treated myself to that. And I feel like a scoop full of manuka honey in the morning, it's been lovely for me. Some people will appreciate it, some won't. That's fine. But yeah, no, I really just came here to kick back and chill. I wanted to go out. I had a plan to go do tarot card readings outside today, but that didn't work out. The fucking post office was closed, bitch. It's a tornado watch, girl. Pray I make it. That's why I'm eating all my snacks right now. Can't waste no money. If the tornado come, if the tornado come, I'm gonna have all my snacks inside my belly. I am. Oh my god, what up, Love Purple? It has been a minute. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I really have no topics. I just wanted to come here and eat and kick it and hang out and just talk some shit. I'm trying to think. I'm really trying to think. I feel like I told y'all a little bit earlier that I talked to like one of these tricks for like 4 hours, bitch. And on some, if you've never seen the show Harlots, it's on some like that Irish dude from the first season. Like I really just feel like every now and then these hoes get me. Every now and then. Bitch, Periscope. Oh my god. That was a million years ago. That's when I was in Colorado for real. Bitch, rest in peace. They really deleted the whole Periscope, everything. I can't watch nothing. Can't have nothing. I'm sad as hell about that. But like I was saying, I I was talking to like one of these tricks and like it's funny. Like I feel like I usually don't talk to tricks if they're broke, but there's just something about him, and I hate this for me, bitch. I just love Cancer so much. Like, ooh, my Capricorn stellium love a Cancer. Jesus Christ. They just so big hearted. Like it's just something about a Cancer, bitch. No, it was. Periscope was crazy as fuck. Periscope was fun as hell. Like, I'm so sad that I didn't, like, really at the time just download all the videos. Like, I'm so pissed. Because all the videos I did upload from Periscope, they make me fucking cry laughing every time, bitch. I literally was on some other shit. Like, I'm so grateful that I got to, like, be, like, recording myself in my 20s. Just because I feel like my teenage years was, like, bizarre. Like lowest of keys, me and my friends were talking recently about how in our teenage years we would stay going to like all these white people's house because they had internet, they had access to like Wi-Fi and shit like that. And like I just was like sitting with the reality that like seeing so many people of color online, seeing so many people of color like creating content online, like making their own brands, like that's actually like really a phenomenon. And I remember like when MySpace was like a thing. I remember when Facebook was a thing. I remember when people, made Tumblrs, and then from Tumblr, like I feel like YouTube and Tumblr were like around the same time, I guess. But just the ways that like we saw so many black folks like rise in popularity. And that's not a coincidence. Like the age of Aquarius, like black folks have always existed, have always been there. But the ways that like the internet and access to it became more accessible. Cause again, like the ways that I remember having to go to people's houses to use their internet. Um, I love purple. That's fucked up. What up or whatever. That's crazy as hell though. I'm sorry to hear that because people stealing your content is insane to think about. But like sometimes I'll find like really popular content, like popular music videos. Like I'll find like them on like a little ass channel, and I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, and YouTube won't do shit. And I'm like, how is this possible? Meanwhile, let me say titty. Let me say badussy. Demonetized as fuck. Like they do not care, bitch. Like let you say anything. Good God. That's why I'm on Discord. With that being said, if anybody's interested, we've been doing a Sunday night dinner on Discord. It's very low stakes. I just want to put that out there for anybody that's scared to be in a group setting at this point in history. I'm understanding. It's very much like we pop up in there, talk our shit. Sometimes we might say what we're eating. Sometimes we might just be high and smoking our dinner. Who fucking knows? But we're trying to figure out a game night. So I'm putting that out there that this Sunday we're going to talk about the game night. So if you're interested in a tentative game night where you already have all the things you need to play the game, keep that in mind. We're not trying to do no game night where you got to have a system or some shit. No, there's games on Discord that you can play as a group, but there's also Jackbox. So I want to put that out there that that's something I'm trying to invest in. I really would love to play some video games with y'all because low key, last night when I was talking to that Cancer, he was telling me about how his family be having family game night, and I'm like, bitch, we need that. Some of us ain't never had a family game night, bitch, because they was playing mind games. So we need to have a family game night badly. It's important to me. So I'm putting that out there that if folks are wanting to do a game night at some point or are interested in just again coming to a digital dinner where you don't have to speak if you're not interested, we will address you. We will say hello to you and shit. But like if you're like, like sometimes like people will say like, I got my period, so I'm just gonna listen to the conversation. That's totally fine. At this point, we are really BIPOC only. There are no white people in the space. I want to say that like this was a decision that we all came to as a group. It wasn't one person said they don't want white people there. We all decided that that was what would be best for us. I am interested in creating a Discord that is for like everybody, including white people. But with that being said, I don't know shit about creating community with white people for real. So I feel like I'm taking my time trying to build the space that is BIPOC. And if we have time, bitch, to figure that out, we will. But as of right now, we don't have any white people in the space. There are people of color in the space who are non-black. I want to put that out there right now. I'm one of them. I think, unfortunately, because I started the space kind of willy-nilly, there was a moment where there was some conflict that unfolded. And I want to be candid that like the conflict that unfolded came from someone interrupting someone and me asking that person no longer to do that. And unfortunately, in the ways that it was all done, because it was such a small group of people and because, I'm a pretty direct person, especially when I see somebody being disrespected, I really don't have a big threshold. And I have been waiting for at least 5 minutes to address a previous moment where they did that. So when they did it again, it was like I have to say something now because I can't keep seeing shit like this. And again, I don't think that I behaved the right way. I think just quickly, asking that person not to overtalk might have, well, in retrospect, I know now that wasn't the way to handle it. And I'm hoping that moving forward, we can figure out how to handle conflict. But I know when I put it in the group, people were getting scary about talking about conflict. And I think that's the thing. That's the thing that sucks about conflict. If we don't talk about it before, and they're shady, 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 shady. Okay, so what had happened was my phone was on like 4%. So thank you for the person that came or that stayed. Thank you. We love you. Okay. This doesn't care. Meryl Streep, thank you. You're a real one, bitch. You're a real one. Yeah, and I was on 4%. I wasn't really thinking about it. My phone is just, I have ADHD. I'm not gonna blame the phone. I saw that it was on low percent, but I ain't really remember. And then by the time I remembered, it was happening to me. So, but yeah, thank you so much for sticking around. I appreciate you. Before we left, though, I was talking about conflict, and what I was trying to say was, if we don't talk about, like, if we all get into a group and we don't talk about what conflict resolution looks like, feels like to us, when we do have conflict, it will go poorly. And I think about how, like, for me, if someone's upset about something that I did, I love a private moment, and I wasn't considering that that person might have wanted that. And again, I'm not trying to say that moving quickly is a bad thing. I think that there are going to be moments in our lives where we know we got to do something right now. But I think after everything, from what I heard from other people were down to like give it another moment to have a conversation that was a little bit less direct and right then and there on the spot. And I appreciate that because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to hurt nobody in that space. I am trying to, make sure that people are being heard. But again, like if people are sensitive to being called out in group, that's a moment to like consider that, when that person does something, bring it to them directly, but privately. You know what? I appreciate you for saying that, Meryl Streep, because I feel like that's another layer to this. Is like the person that I have conflict with, or I had conflict with in the moment. Me and them were talking about like them claiming black identity as a mixed person, and I just feel like there were already moments in our communications that let me know that they were very fragile. And I don't mean that to be disparaging. I'm just trying to offer that like I had a lot of information about what was happening with them. And I'm upset at myself for not considering that like I could have moved a little bit softer. But then I was also considering that like, I think, and this is gonna sound how it sounds, but I'm gonna say it. I feel like nobody in my life that I was supposed to be taught things from ever taught me that as a lighter skinned person, there are a lot of moments where I may be overstepping or overspeaking or just, butting in, and like other people may not say anything, but it absolutely did happen. And so in that moment, I was genuinely holding that like this person is only existing in this space because they're my friend and because they're a fellow mixed person, and like they're over talking somebody who is more marginalized than them, and who else in the space has been offered information to tell them in the moment. Like that's what I was thinking, is like who else is going to say anything? Like everyone else has less privilege than them. I'm the closest person in privileged proximity to them to actually say something and it not fall on someone marginalized to catch the fallout. And so in ways there's a part of me that was like, I'm glad that like if they're upset that they're mad at me. But at the same time, it was really like, dang, like you're mad at me for like asking you, very gently not to overtalk someone. But I have to hold that like the first time someone called my ass out or said something to me that wasn't like, And again, even as gentle as I was, like, if you're not ready for conflict, I'm not trying to do too much because I don't think that I did anything wrong in retrospect. Like, I actually am really proud of what I did. But I think that two things can be true. I can be happy that I acted quickly, but I can also hold that, like, this was a person that I was, in a friendship with. And so I feel terrible that they are hurt by that moment. But I also want to hold that, like, things like that will happen if we don't have conversations about conflict, if we don't talk about what hurts us, what makes us feel bad, what makes us triggered. If we don't do that before we all get together in a space, like, things can unfold that hurt us. Word. And see, hear me out, hear me out. I want to be as, like, gentle as possible because I feel like I don't want to change my standard for anyone. Like, I think that, and then again, if I'm wrong, if y'all hear some bullshit, let me know. I appreciate being pushed back on. But I feel like because, like, I have power in the space, and when I say power, I could delete the shit. I could block people. I don't want to do that. My thought process is, if we can't talk, then taking space makes sense. I don't know how long we're supposed to take space for. There ain't no motherfucking rule book to this life, huh? So with that being said, I'm going to just again uplift this in hopes that, like, maybe they see it. I did reach out to them twice. They weren't interested in repair. And to be honest, they told me that our friendship was shattered, which I felt like was very deep. But at the same time, in that moment, they could have just been very upset. And maybe that's the word choice they wanted to use to be emphatic about how hurt they were. I'm not sure, but what I am sure of is that I want people to come to the space. I want people to feel like, on Sunday night, there's a place to go online. You don't gotta pay no money unless, you ain't pay your light bill, your internet bill. You might have to go to McDonald's to come kick it with us, but that's available. You know what I mean? There's a lot of places open that got internet, bitch. Let me know if you need help. But with that being said, it's important to me because I think about how, like, there's times where I want to go places and I gotta fucking coordinate with all these people, get a ride, get the money. It's a lot. Being a poor bitch is a lot. So I'm trying to think about, like, what it could look like having, like, a digital dance party. I've been to a silent rave before where people, like, put on their headphones and all jam to the same song in a location. And so there's a part of me that's wondering, like, how many people that are already here that know that they like to DJ. That might be fun, test your sets out on us, see, like, if, see what, you want to play for a group. See if, you want to just test drive some of your mixes. That'd be fun to me. But I'm just trying to think about what it looks like. Because again, the world that we're living in right now is, sometimes I ain't got no words for this shit. It's beyond words, bitch. It's beyond words. So I'm trying to think about the future. And in the future, people aren't going to be able to go outside all the time and to hang out with everybody. Sometimes you're going to be in your house in your pajamas, ear hustling. That's fine. Like, I wanted to just consider, like, I remember, like, in my most depressed times, I'll just be in my house watching YouTube videos and watching other people on lives. Like, there's moments where I feel like that's the most socialization I could fucking handle. And so I wanted to just be mindful about creating digital space where people can kick it. Cause, like, also I feel like coming here is fun, but like, all the entertainment be resting on me, bitch. And I'll be real with you. Some people that are in the Discord, they are storytellers, they are comedians. There's just all types that come through. And so that's my other energy is, like, who knows, like, what gifts and talents you have to offer. And maybe you do a stand-up set in the dinner. Maybe we do a comedy dinner night. Who fucking knows? But my thought process is, like, there's no internet space that I know of right now where you can just exist. Like, I'm in a couple groups online. Like, I'm in this group for, like, people that live in my region. And, like, the group is basically like a big ass, like, buy nothing group. And I've talked about this before, but if there's anybody out there who, he is sleeping. If there's anybody out there that has a Facebook still, you want to type in buy nothing and the closest city to you
And I know for me, like there are a couple cities that got some money. So if you know there's some cities with some money, put the cities with the money. Okay. And you're gonna write buy nothing and then the city with the money in the search bar. And it usually takes a few moments for them to add you in, but basically the concept is as Americans, we buy shit on impulse, we buy shit in bulk, we buy shit and then give it to people and then they just hoard it themselves. And so the idea is that sometimes you have something to offer that you don't need any money for. And so there are people on there, like I got a bed frame, I just got a table, I just like baby. Be- be- Actually, I'm not gonna do too much because that shit big as hell. But I got a table. And I ain't had a table this whole fucking time, bitch. But I finally got another. And I got chairs too. I got a table and four chairs, bitch. I got entertain, bitch. Finally. But highest of keys, bitch. We got the apartment, couldn't afford shit, bitch. Everything that we have is on crates, bitch. Like we stole like at least 25 crates, bitch. I built an entertainment center out of fucking crates, bitch. Like, and I put a blanket on it. The shit look kind of cute. It look kind of cute, but it's crates. So again, it's the ways that like some of us really could just get into that apartment. Can't get shit else. So with that being said, buy nothing. If you're gay, if you're queer, if you're trans, if you're questioning, if you're trying to find out where the gays is at, queer exchange. Sometimes it's written queer and then X and then change. But queer exchange, that will usually lead you to groups where there are queer people who talk about queer happenings and queer going ons. I'm crying. Is it raining, bitch? There's a tornado watch in my region. That's why I got all my snacks around me, bitch. That's why you see me eating snacks, eating ice creams, and drinking a fucking Arizona. Bitch, I'm trying to make sure that if anything, if the water rises, bitch, I'm full of sugars. Okay, so I could move, bitch. I'm not playing, bitch. Like I feel like if the flood should come, I'm taking the computer chair and I'm riding it. That's what I'm doing. I might take the top of the table. I might take the top of the table. It depends. If it don't float, I'm not gonna take it. But if it floats, I'm gonna take it. Tornado, right, bitch. They were, and bitch, it was casual as fuck. They gonna say, just whether Doppler gonna send me a text like tornado watch, tornado warning for the next 2 hours. Girl, why is this a text? Ain't there supposed to be a horn or some shit? Ho, I hate this shit. I hate it here, bitch. I'm disgruntled as fuck. They over here casually warning me about a tornado. Bitch. And so I know they're supposed to play some kind of music, bitch, or some kind of beat in the sky to let you know some sort of weather disasters happening. And it's the way that they done gutted all the motherfucking horns, all the like that they all they got is a text. All they got is a text these days. I'm just like, girl, what am I gonna do with a tornado text? Woo, bitch. It's the way I know. I know I said earlier some people don't want to be here, and I'm hoping that they make it, but I understand like taking breaks from that. And definitely being like, you know what? Yeah, let that flood come and take my ass. But lowest of keys, every time I see the flood footage, I'm just like, fuck. Because that's the thing about it is like it's not like it's just a flood, you know. It's like there's stuff in the water that could really seriously harm you, like people dying in the flood. It's not just drowning; it's things moving in the water fast as fuck. Oh, Elisa, it's been a minute, bitch. I'm hella grateful. Also, bitch, reach back out to me on Instagram. Cause I feel like when I was looking at your birth chart, I feel like I feel like I didn't get into it all the way, and I got more information now. But yeah, no, if you don't see me again, bitch, it's cause a tornado came. Allegedly. I don't know. I feel like I'm in a pretty good place emotionally, mentally. I feel like I watched a couple movies recently that made me, reflect deeper. Low key, Dane put me on to this movie called Smoke Signals. If you've never heard of it before, that's okay. Watch the trailer. But it definitely had my ass crying. Like if you have a history of housing insecurity, trauma, pain, your daddy abandoning you, ooh, big father wound energy. But I feel like in the end, I felt good. Like I feel like if you do have some pain around your father or even your mama or anybody in your family, really, I feel like this movie really does remind us that like these people are not just who we think they are, you know? And I think I love movies like that. I love movies that really challenge me to look deeper at a person and not just see them as, you know, the pain or the horror. Not a floater, bitch. I'm screaming. Here's my thing. I feel like I don't I don't want to jinx myself, but I feel like I got enough shit to try to float on, bitch. Like lowest of keys. I feel like I've been keeping stuff around just in case. And if it should come to that, I really think I might be good. But you know, you say that, and then next thing you know, but I feel like where I'm at, I'm not really close to the water, so I feel like I'm actually okay. But still, bitch, a tornado could still, you know, and I'm not on the second floor, which I'm grateful for. But damn, bitch, it's babe. That's the way I've been looking into motherfucking survival packs. I'm like, girl, goddamn. I thought I was gonna get to be a fat bitch my whole life. Like, sweetie, it's the way I'm trying to get strong. I hate this for me. I hate this shit. Like, I wanted to be a fat bitch. I wanted to sit like this as an elder. You feel me? With my hands on my paunch. Impossible, bitch. I'm losing backs every day. God damn it. Word. Thank you so much for suggesting something or whatever. I'm definitely down. No, I'm always ready for battle. I pray not. Like I'm actually like trying to put all of my weapons down and just again, I feel like there's so many moments where I could have actually been cool and I was just like, no, I'm gonna crash the fuck out. And it's like, bitch, you could have really just said, you know, you gotta forgive you. Oh, bitch. I'm just really having that moment where you just realize like, you know, things could have been different, but you know, pride and ego is a hell of a drug. But yeah, getting back to what I was saying though, I feel like that movie Smoke Signals, but also Promising Young Woman. Like I watched that movie recently again, and I'm gonna watch that shit again. I feel like I could watch that movie every day because that movie just makes me like it's. I have so many emotions. It's the movie about the girlie that's trying to avenge her friend by basically going to talk to every person that failed to report a crime that happened to her friend and basically put them through something similar so that they can feel that karmic, you know, that karmic pain of knowing that like you did something really fucked up and like you now feel a piece of what that person you put some shit through was feeling. And I don't know, there's just something about that movie. It's so fucking delicious. But it had me so fucked up. It had me so fucked up because it was just like, damn, what would you do to avenge someone? Like, what would you do to get back at motherfuckers? And the end of the movie, I'm not gonna spoil it, but the movie makes me angry in the end. And I feel like that's why I can never not watch it because it's just like it's just such a reality. It's just such a fucking reality. You know what? I actually heard about it. I heard about Shakedown. I've never seen it though. Thank you for telling me. I appreciate. Thank you, because again, like we definitely need more suggestions. Because I feel like so far we've just watched a couple comedians. We haven't watched anything. We were supposed to watch this movie about Norbit, but we ended up not watching it because a lot of people were running late that day and there was only like two people that came to dinner, so we just had a great conversation. And I feel like that's the thing too, like sometimes people have a life, you know. Sunday dinner, it's not always realistic. I think a lot of us are child free, right? And so we own our time in a way that our mothers didn't. And so there will be times where, like, you know, we'll meet up on a Sunday and we'll be like, hey, if anybody's free on Wednesday, let's do something on Wednesday. So, like, it's not only Sunday. Sometimes we will make time for another day. And it really just depends on who's around, who's available. But usually at least two people show up and they talk. Somebody made a YouTube video about Norbit. My bad. Somebody made a YouTube video about Norbit. They were talking about Rasputia being a mammy and a minstrel, and basically they're critiquing it very harshly. and I thought it would be a good watch because again, like it's the ways that like there are people that really love that movie. Like somebody recently told me their mom favorite movie is Norbit, and I literally screamed. It was one of my hoes, bitch. One of my hoes. He was like, my mom love he biracial. He's like, my mom loves Norbit, and I was like, for real? He's like, no, like that's her movie. I was like I'm not going to do too much. I'm not going to do too much, but I'm just like, wow, you know, everyone's so creative. Not I'm right. I'm just like I feel like if you're a younger person, I get it, but like the older you get, the more I'm just unsure of what you're trying to tell me. I'm sorry. There's just stuff that people tell you they like, and you're like, what are you trying to say? Like what? Like what about this? What do you mean? Like if somebody told me White Chicks was their favorite movie, I would die laughing because low key I actually feel the same way. It's just so fucking hilarious. Like the entire concept of it, the entire idea of White Chicks, the blunt that had to be smoked to get that idea. Like I'm dead. Like whoever wrote that shit. No, that movie is funny as fuck. Like I literally die every time. And it's the way this white girl I met in college used to be like, let's watch White Chicks. Like she would want to watch it all the time. And you know what's I'm not going I'm trying to be a better person. I'm just be a better person. I'm just be a better person. I'm just yeah. We have the choice. We have the choice. Okay, moving on. I also want to say we're doing a tarot card party tomorrow at 6, but there will be a pregame at 5 for anybody who's like, you know, if you're not gonna be around at 6 o'clock, I feel like I might be able to pull some cards before 6, but the plan is just to play some music, have a little vibey vibe, see how people are feeling, get a list together for the party. And so if you're not available for the party, come to the come or if you're not available for the reading, you can come to the party. If you're not available for the party, you can come to the reading, whatever the case may be. You said the deconstruction of white femininity. I'm screaming. I just feel like white women like the movie too much for it to be that only. That's where I'm at. I feel like it's that plus other things because it's the way white people, like the way the white women that I've known, like loved it. It had me like, and Sierra, how are you? That's what, like we were all just talking about how we all love White Chicks, and I'm crying because it's like again, the reason why I like it is because it's so meta. It's a black man. It's a black man performing like a white woman, but like they look. And I feel like that's, you know, that moment where I wasn't really talking. It's like the girlie that loved it a lot. She low key looked like them when the prosthetics. Like it's a part of me that's like, bro. Like I feel like it's levels to that movie. It's levels to that movie, bitch. And I just feel like it's the way that they were just very average looking white women. But I feel like the prosthetics made them look better. Like, I don't want to do too much, but I just feel like they really like the prosthetics. They really ate it up. They really ate it up. Y'all are actually like so scientific. Y'all are like such psychoanalysts, and I'm literally just laughing at like how crazy they looked in the prosthetics. I feel like that's one of my favorite parts. I love that they could call somebody and be like, "Hold up, we need to look Caucasian." But again, it's the way that like they be undercover and dressed up and shit. I don't know. Iggy Azalea. I feel like Iggy's dead right now. Like, have y'all seen her? I haven't seen I haven't seen Igatha. I'm glad. I'm not saying I want to summon her. I'm just saying, like, I have not seen her at all. Not government funded exactly. No, and that's the thing too. Like the way the government be letting people get dressed up. OnlyFans. Wow. Dang. This ain't me hating on hoes. I'm just like, girl. I just knew she was gonna be at Neiman Marcus or like on one of those foreign car lots. Like I just knew she was gonna be just, with big unshaven teeth. I just knew she was gonna get some big teeth and just be outside selling something. I just knew it. I'm not calling her Iggy. She's grown. I'm sorry. I'm not calling her. No, that's Igatha. I'm calling her Igatha. And I also feel like I'm still shook. I'm still shook. Not she got the mixed baby she dreamed of. Oh, pray for the baby. Pray for the baby. Because good God. Mm-mm. Like, yo, bitch, this is unrelated to every fucking thing. Bow Wow and Nick Cannon. Bitch, do y'all remember I did a live a million years ago and I was talking about how several black men have reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in being in a relationship with them where they marry many women and have many kids. And I was talking to a trick. Like there was a trick of mine who was telling me that he was looking for some shit like that. And I was like, and I told y'all in the video, I only say yes because it would be fun. I didn't say yes because I was really gonna do it. That's one thing about hoe shit. Sometimes the trick gonna be like, oh, would you ever do some shit that can't happen in the next 5 to 6 months? I'd be like, yeah. Bitch, listen, it's not safe, but I'm just saying, like, for me, yeah, I'll lie to the trick. The trick talking about one day he want to get a bunch of bitches on a farm having babies. Sure, let me get some money today. I'm sorry, bitch. Like that. Listen, Trick said a lot of things. If let a Trick tell me, oh, I'm building a house. You want to live in a house with me in 5 years? Yeah, I'll say yes to any fucking thing. 25 years down the road, you might die. I might die. I don't care. I'm in it for the money today. That's whole tip number 347. Like if the trick is talking about if the trick is giving you money today and he talking about some shit down the line, yes, absolutely. So not everyone's gonna do it. Not everyone's gonna do it. You don't have to do it. Don't do it. If you're scared, don't do it. But I knew he had some money. He was a Virgo. And his energy was just like, oh, he's like, I would just want to marry a bunch of women and I want to have babies and do. Yes, more than one black man has said this, but this black man in particular was already paying me money. And he was just like, I want to have a bunch of children. I want to have a bunch of wives living on my property. And I was just like, you're a psycho. But I was like, yeah, let's go out to dinner. Yeah, like I said, I don't care, bitch. I don't care. I'm not really gonna do the shit. So at some point though, like I started to just again notice that there are so many of them, and I'm creeped out. I'm creeped out. You stormed out on one of your friends because they broke your water bottle. I mean, that it obviously bothered you. I think you should text them or send them a Cash App request to replace it and be like, I need y'all to replace this. But also, actually, instead of doing that, maybe see if you want to even talk to them again. Because, the water bottle might have just been the last straw. Might have just been that, because the water bottle, was it really about the water bottle? Only you know. You said Natalie. Bitch, I'm terrified. Not Zeus. Not Zeus. No. Not Zeus. Not Orlando. I hope Orlando's okay. Last time I seen him, he was creeping me the fuck out. I was like, damn, Orlando, what is going on? And it's not looking like it's weed. It's looking like some other shit. And I'm like, Orlando. I'm terrified. I'm terrified. I wish I understood. Not praying for the baby, bitch. I'm just saying though. I'm just saying. We all love Meryl Streep. That part. That part. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all are fucking funny as hell. Just thank y'all for making my Saturday night fun. Oh my goodness. Like I woke up to my house being cleaned and I'm so grateful, but it's the way we had to run errands and now he's sleeping. I'm not gonna get to see him till tomorrow. I want to hang out with my bookie today so bad. But yeah, no, not the chin. Not the chin. Damn. You know what? Natalie, when she first came on the scene, I really thought I didn't think she was going to last. But it's mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. I can't. Like people have been talking to me about Natalie Nunn recently, and I'm just like, I still can't believe she's doing what she's doing. I still can't believe I still can't believe it. Bye. Low key, bitch. And since we talking about the chin, since we're talking about it, because since you brought it up, like I didn't even know we were gonna go there, but we're going there. No, like low key, the chin looks so diesel at this point, and it really blows me because it's like it looks like the work she got done. Like it looked like the doctor was like trying to balance it, and it's never going to balance, bitch. Like I feel like that's the thing. Like I feel like the surge can only do so much. Like I feel like she should have got the chin reduced. Instead, it looked like she tried to put more meat around everything else. Like it don't make sense. It's like it looked like they tried to balance out how it's like the chin out here. So they was like, let's put everything else out here, and it's like is looking like a more diesel chin. It looked like they put the bloat tool on everything else, and then they had to put more. And it looked like because she had the baby, she getting more meat right here. So like the chin don't even look like is this like you see how the chin and then the meat, her meat and the chin together. Like I've never seen that much chin and meat together. I don't know, bitch. It just again, I can't look at her too much. That's why I don't watch the shows. People be like, "Do you watch Baddies?" No, because I can't watch it because I get lost in her chin. I hate this for me. Ever since she got on the screen, her chin always was looking a little interesting. But at this point in career, it just seems like she's being sabotaged by by whoever is doing the work on the chin, whoever did anything, the Botox needle, I blame it all because the chin just looks real. It looks sharp, but it also looks heavy. It looks cumbersome. It looks like when she talks, she got locked jaw slightly because I'm just like, I know she'd be tired. I know she'd be tired. I really hope she just stops. Not calcify back. And Sarah, Habsburg is crazy, bitch. Habsburg is crazy. Habsburg is crazy. Oh my god. Listen, I feel like this isn't the worst thing we could be doing with our time, simply because this bitch is literally destroying Africa. Like I feel like you know what I mean? It's like she's destroying Africa. We can talk about her chin, right? Like I feel like it seems more than fair. You feel me? She's going to other countries and colonizing with her chin. I feel like it's okay to talk about the chin and the misdeeds. I think that that's just fine. That's where I'm gonna be. That's where I'm standing. That's the hill. I'm dying on it. I just feel like if you ever go somewhere and colonize it, if you ever bring a bunch of people to a different country and destroy it for literally, damn bitch. I just want to know who owns Tubi, but I don't, bitch. I really don't because, bitch, it's giving me so much. Not whose chin, bitch. Is there other chins that we're worried about? I'm so sorry. Isn't Jay Leno dead? No tea. She's the new chin. There's no other chin we've spoken about. Our society, we haven't seen chins like that. We haven't even been aware of chins like that in so long. Like I feel like when I think about her chin, I just think about how it's a one of a kind. I've never seen a chin like that again. Maybe other people feel the same. I don't know, but I've never seen a chin like that before. Like even Jay Leno's chin, it was more meaty. Her chin started off a little frail. Like she had a frail, long chin, and now it just looks diesel. And I think about the ways that like her makeup artist like literally has to like, wow, that's wow. Mm-mm-mm. The makeup artist really got to do a lot. Like she gotta light the shit out of this. She gotta light the shit out of this. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. But she gotta light the fuck out of this. Like she gotta do the pork chop. She gotta do a pork. She gotta do a lamb chop, and then you know, just slice. Oh no. Not that show is fantastic. You know what? I got Roku. I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna see. I'm just saying, you gotta like when you like. I just feel like I like this. I got a chin too. My chin is rounded, but like I still like my shit. But the way her shit is, I don't know. Like again, I just like sometimes people get their face done and people be talking shit. And I'm like, you know what? Let's talk about Natalie Nunn's chin. I just feel like every time people want to talk about other people's work, I'm like, why don't we just talk about her chin? Because I feel like that's the more important conversation because it's evil. Like I feel like I'm at a point where I can see her chin for what it is. I'm trying to but this conversation is so fucking ridiculous, but I don't care. I just feel like I don't appreciate her. And then on top of it, I just feel like recently she's been getting more and more demonic. Oh, bitch, wasn't Aubrey in like, was that making the band? Am I crazy? But bitch, there's so many songs that I wanted to listen to today, but then I remembered like people's crimes. Like I was this close to listening to Nelly. That song Batter Up with the Saint Lunatics. Oh my god, Nelly, you piece of shit. You fucked up so many catalogs, you bitch. I feel the same way about P. Diddy though. Fuck Diddy so much. Cause bitch, it's the way I want to listen to Need a Girl. So many songs. Bitch, Nicki Minaj too. Like Nicki really, wow. So many songs I wanted to listen to. And I was like, nope. Nicki, you're not getting one coin from me ever again, bitch, because you fucking weird. Bitch, not if she whipped her head around. Listen, I feel like we're organically leaving the Natalie conversation, but I want y'all to know I will always go back. I just want y'all to know. I don't care. I feel like she's the one celebrity that I feel comfortable bullying because I feel like she is such a fucking weird bully. Like, it's like, babe, it's bad enough that you could slice people with just the subtle motherfucking tilt of your head. You could slice. You are dangerous. Like your head is a weapon. Like I don't understand why we have to talk nice about you. Bitch, I will never watch Nelly and Ashanti show ever in my life. And I honestly like I pray for the baby. Like I feel like that's I'm about to make some t-shirts. Just pray for the baby. Just pray for the babies because I don't know why the fuck she let Nelly have any piece of a womb. Definitely not. Definitely not. And like Los of Keys, he used to be cute. At this point, Ashanti could have did better. Ashanti could have fucking did better. Exactly. Exactly. That's why I stopped speaking because I don't have nothing nice to say. That's why I got quiet. But Nelly used to be cute for sure. Definitely. I agree with that. Nelly, he was no, I did see that. I did see that about Nelly saying he not changing diapers. He has other kids. This is the shit. This is the shit. Like, let people know that you don't care about your kids like that. Like, before they take your nut. Like, I don't know, bitch. Like, I just be so surprised at what men will say for free. I mean, I guess he did get paid to say that shit, but like, how much? Couldn't have been a lot. Could not have been a lot. And the media that came from that scene, the way everybody's embarrassed for sis. I'm not. I'm not embarrassed for Miss Ashanti. I feel like, you know what? I feel like I was trying to say this earlier about Halle Bailey. Sometimes you just was supposed to get the baby. And I don't think that that should be a punishment unless you didn't want the baby. If you wanted the baby and that's all you got, well, that's great. But it's a lot of people that will have a baby with a man and they really didn't want that baby and they really just wanted that man. And I don't think there's anything wrong with acknowledging that. But I think some women, when they get away from a man, like that's what they're gonna have to say to themselves for the rest of their damn life. At least, you know, I got my baby. Again, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all the mothers that still care for the babies, even though the father leaves, because I'm one of them, bitch. I'm grateful I got some Similac. I'm grateful my diaper got changed, even though that motherfucker wasn't doing it. Now my mama is a crackhead. She is. But it's at this point in life that even though she ain't protect me in all the ways, I still see that she tried her fucking best. And I don't know what the fuck that man has said. I don't know what the fuck the arrangement was. And honestly, as much as I don't fuck with my mom for real, I still think about how, again, I got something I needed. And when I had to get away from her and get something else, I got that too. So I'm trying to just remind myself, like, she ain't stopped my life. If anything, what was trying to stop my life was me thinking that, you know, I had to have a father. I had to know him. And I wish somebody would have just told me, it's okay if you don't like your dad. It's okay if you don't like that man. It's okay if you wouldn't have, you know, if you wouldn't have hung out with him or you wouldn't have wanted to hang out with him without being told that that's your father, you know? I wish somebody would have told me that when I was a kid, that it's okay to not like these people. But I'm seeing content from people where they're acknowledging that they don't make their kids say hey to everybody or hug on everybody because their kid may not like that person or want to be around them. And so I'm grateful that there are younger people who don't have to be going through that shit. Cause that's so traumatic. Like, you ever just think about family members you really didn't like, but you had to speak to them and hug them and shit, and people will really treat you like you're an asshole. Meanwhile, there's reasons why you don't fuck with them. Like a kid is brand new on this earth, bitch. If I don't like somebody, you should pay attention, bitch. I just got here. Like the fuck, I literally just got to this earth, and there's already somebody I hate. Check on it. But I'm not gonna give my mom too much though. I'm gonna give her just enough. But again, it's the way that I'm like, if I ever got pregnant, like I remember getting dragged on Twitter like mad years ago, because I was like, if a man leaves me with a baby, I'm going to put that baby in a swaddle and leave the baby at his house. I'm putting the baby on the doorstep. Fuck this. Everybody said I was a bitch. Everybody said I was a bad mom. I'm like, bitch, I'm not a mom at all anymore. I'm free now. And that's what I would want. But people had such an issue. It was a fake baby. The baby didn't even exist. And they was dragging the shit out of me. They were like, no. They're like, once the baby is here, you will be different. I'm like, how the fuck do you know that? Like, how do you know? But again, I'm like, if I was pregnant and someone leaves me, yeah, you could have the baby. Like, you good. You're good. And what you gonna do? If you want to put the baby up for adoption, that's fine. I'm not naming them shit. I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna be like, take me off the birth certificate. Like, hide them keys, bitch. And I know that sounds foul, but it's like, babe, what's the point? Word. Diamond, how you doing, babe? I hope y'all are doing well. But yeah, no, I'm just talking my shit. I'm literally just talking my shit. Promise. Like, I have no point here. I'm literally just high as hell, and I wanted to do something tonight, but I was like, bitch, I could come kick it with y'all. I feel like that's gonna be doing something right. This is a digital hangout. And that's the thing, like, people will look at you so crazy if you give your baby to that man, but people will not help you when you're struggling with that baby on your own. So that's my thought process. Is like, I know, and this is so sick, but like, if you leave a baby at a man house, that man going on Facebook, he going on Twitter, he going somewhere and he gonna tell the whole community about how you not shit. And guess who gonna give him some Pampers? His mama, his auntie, his somebody, bitch, somebody. And it's sad because you could be a woman saying the same shit. Like, damn, this man left me, and people look at you like you're a dumb bitch. And I hate that shit because it's so bizarre. It really makes it seem like women only exist to carry life and nothing more, not to be loved, not to be respected, not to be cherished. And I hate the conversation about people getting married before having babies because don't get me wrong. Do I think the Institute of Marriage can be supportive towards mothers? Sure. But I also think it could be a way to trap women in something. I also think like the big milestone of getting married, that's a little harder to undo than being in a relationship. And it's frustrating because again, it's the ways that like people want to be married very badly. But it's the way that I feel it's safer to be in a relationship that's like, y'all got some agreements. Like, I feel like if you're gonna get married, definitely do a prenup. I don't give a fuck how rich or poor you are. You don't know what the fuck your life is gonna be in the future. And I truly believe that, like, if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody who has more than you or is a man and you're not, you should absolutely be making sure that if y'all it's gonna end up in your fucking favor because that man gonna be just fine, bitch. Like, it's the way, let a man cry, bitch. Mm-mm-mm. Let a man cry. People come out the fucking woodwork. Like, I'll never forget this man had posted this video talking about, oh, my girl just put me out. He ain't say why. And he was talking about he's stranded out in Virginia or some shit. The comment section was disgusting. Bitches had their whole phone number. Bitches had addresses, bitch. And he was fine as fuck. Don't get me wrong, that man was gorgeous. But babe, a bunch of y'all, oh, you're sweet. Thank you, Diamond. But it's like, how the fuck do y'all put y'all contact info in the fucking comment section of a TikTok? Like, that shit blew my mind. But again, it's the way that, like, I know some people will be like, well, bitch, you could meet a man and he'll fucking pay your rent. Yeah. I want to say, like, in terms of me and Dane, I feel like I've said this before. Like, I told Dane I didn't want to date him when we first met. I told Dane I need a man to sit by the door just in case. Highest of keys. I was on Tinder swiping for my life. I was like, I know I could get somebody to come sit in my house and be a bodyguard. I know I can, and I did. And so, obviously conversations were had, we figured something out. But in the beginning, like, I was like, bitch, I don't trust it. I don't trust like anybody out here. And then on top of it, that the man that had tried to kill me, his people was looking at me crazy because I wanted my backpack back. I don't want to go too deep into the backpack. It was ugly. It didn't matter, but it mattered to me that they were wearing some shit that a man almost killed me about. And so I'm just like, girl, no. I'm like, give me my shit back. And then again, now I'm scared. So that's why he was sitting in my house. And again, I was squatting in an apartment. So I already was waiting on the cops to come get my ass anyway, Lowest of Keys. So I'm waiting on cops. I'm waiting on the people of the killer. I'm waiting on the friends of the killer. And Dane just sitting in my house kicking it, just low key waiting for some shit to pop off. On top of that, whenever I would go, like, cause I started doing whole shit again. But like, actually, I was doing whole shit before I met him. He literally took me to go link with a hoe and steal from him. And that's when I knew like I could trust him because I was like, word. Because like a lot of men will be like, wait, you gonna do something to this man and be acting like that's their brother. Bitch, you don't know this man. But Lois the Keys, that was the man I told y'all he was trying to get a bunch of bitches to live on the property and like have babies and be married and shit. And so he was disgusted. He was like, get some extra shit for me. I was like, of course. You know? Again, I just knew once he did a crime with me, like it was real. And so that's why we're rocking still to this day. With that being said, I do not think that everybody need to be in a relationship with every motherfucking body or even be married. I feel like, but I also want to say like meeting a man these days, like I want to be candid. A lot of them are playing games and are full of shit. I feel like I'm not in a perfect relationship at all. We both have crackhead mamas, so we both have attachment issues, bitch. And I feel like that's why we're so in it and we're so fucked up sometimes because we really haven't had like consistent support. And so when we have conflict, it can be really upsetting because it's like, damn, I like you're one of my best friends. You know, we're lovers and friends. So it's like, damn, we having issues. We got to figure this out. And so I do think we'd probably benefit from a third party, just somebody mediating. And I'm grateful that I'm in a relationship long enough to feel like that because I definitely have just dipped on people before. So I'm grateful that we're both holding space for transformation. But again, I'm not in anything perfect. We be fighting about the dumbest shit. We be having, all types of disagreements. And this motherfucker ran out the house with no shoes on the other day. High key, bitch. Shit is not okay. Shit is not okay. Okay. I'm anxious. He avoided. I be wanting to talk. He be wanting to run. We be having issues. But I do think most recently, he has been really taking his medicine seriously, and I think he's actually getting to a point where he realizes he don't want to run. He just used to running, and that's beautiful to see somebody realize what my coping mechanism not helping me. You know, I'm a that bitch. Um, Word. I love to hear that. A divorce lawyer. I'm screaming, bitch. No, definitely. You would have got it. You would have definitely got it, bitch. Marriage is for 30% of the population. I'm crying. 30%. Excuse me. Here's my thing. I'm not a woman because I don't care that deeply to behave in a way like a woman. And I feel like, unfortunately, some people don't want to hold that, like, woman doesn't exist. I know some people don't want to hear that shit. I know. But men created that term to subjugate us who have vaginas and who are femme. So people that don't even have vaginas but aren't operating masculinely, aka being violent and imposing and egocentric and narcissistic. Like, again, it's the ways that when we're talking about masculinity, a lot of times we're not talking about bodies, right? We're talking about behavior. So I want us to consider that, like, I'm not a woman, I'm a non binary person. I don't believe that I do anything that's womanly or manly. I think I just live. But I know that there are some people that will see me as a woman, and I'm cool with that. I don't hate being seen as a woman. I'm not dysphoric about being a girl. I really just don't care. Right, by pronouns are a problem, but yeah, no, I don't think about it too deeply. I'm always interested in talking about it. I know some people don't want to talk about white supremacy, don't want to talk about gender and the ways that it's connected to anti-blackness, white supremacy, the way that it's connected to sizeism, the ways that it's connected to massage and war. But I'm down. But for the most part, I feel like people will ask me like if I'm a boy or a girl sometimes because of my voice, which is impacted by smoking, or people will ask me if I'm a boy or a girl because my behavior and the ways that I'm not worried about seeming a certain way. And again, this is not me saying all women are worried about seeming a certain way. It's me just trying to offer that, like, when I was growing up, like, I just remember a lot of people telling me I was doing being a girl wrong and like just being kind of like just all the ways that like people expect you to do certain things when they see you as a woman or a girl. And it's the way that like people who are comfortable being called or seen as a woman, they're sometimes really unempathetic because of all the harm that's already happened to them. Like to get to a point where we are comfortable as a gender performance in covering our faces and making them look blemish free, in rosing our cheeks as if we're happy or flustered all of the time, like the ways that like patriarchy asks us, or not even asks, the way patriarchy shows us through pictures, videos, influencers, that to be a woman is to be a certain body size, a certain body shape, and all the ways that like we're constantly shown ways to be a woman the right way. And when the woman is acting wrong, the ways that they show us the wrong woman to be, as kind of like a caution. And the ways that again like we're constantly seeing women in our world being shown to us as like people to be like or not, but mostly people to be like. And so I want y'all to consider that like when people talk to you and they maybe cut you off and they operate like their thoughts are more important than yours. That's not a gendered behavior, but I think a lot of femmes know men who do that. I think a lot of femmes know men who are like unwilling to listen and will just kind of keep talking. And again, people will see disrespectful behavior from men and think that's a man, or think that's what men do. And then there are men who are like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm going to listen to femmes and not do that. But there are more men that are like, I'm going to do that because I see men doing that. And I think about how, as I said, growing up, there were times where I was told, you're not being a girl right. Like I remember getting my nails done and like I did something and they got fucked up and my mom was so mad. And I was like a baby. Like I had the tiniest little nails. I'll never forget. They were pink with airbrush white hearts. And I literally like fucked them up by putting my hand in my pocket. And you would have thought I ruined the day, but it was the way that like my mom is like taking me to beautify myself, taking me to get my nails done. And like that's not something she did a lot. Like she usually got her own nails done. And it's the ways that like as a kid, I just saw my mom like making sure she got hers. But when it came to me getting mine, every now and then, and the ways that like she being a woman, especially white passing, was very invested in like her look. And I think about how when I was young, my mom took great care in like making me look pretty. And I, at some point when it was obvious, I like being outside, I like getting in the dirt, I like going with the boys instead of the girls sometimes, and like going to do some shit outside, like kind of messy, where my mom openly started projecting on me that I was gay, which is awkward as fuck because at that point I didn't even know what the fuck gay was. I just knew I wasn't supposed to be it. And I'll never forget my mom asking me like, "Are you strictly dickly?" And I'm looking at her like dumb as fuck, like what? And she's like, "You're not gay, right?" And like I could tell in the way she's saying it, she do not want no gay baby. And I don't even know what the fuck gay is, but this is after like she caught me and my friend Sasha like in my bed, like pretending to be like a married couple. And like there was nothing sexual about it. Like we were literally just pretending to be two people in love. And it was so funny that my mom thought that was some gay shit. I know some people will not realize that like kids don't know what the fuck they're doing, especially if they haven't seen like explicit anything. And so like obviously in my child's mind, and like this is what grown-ups do, like they lay in the bed and they hug each other. I don't know. Like I saw my mom be hugged in a bed before, but my mom was uncomfortable. And like that's when like she started being really worried about me being gay. Whole time I was gay as fuck, but they kept on trying to poke me to see like, are you gay? And like that poking had me knowing like, whoo, I gotta start getting some dick. And it's the ways that like they're like telling me that what I'm doing with their questioning is wrong. But when I start like having crushes on boys, going to boys' houses like a lot, and like my mom didn't give a shit about that. And it's just so wild how like when I was like being, just more. I don't even know. I wasn't even doing anything wrong. Like again, it's the ways that you try to describe things that people are seeing wrong, and it's like nothing. Oh, I was little as fuck. I was maybe like 8 or 9. Like I was very young. And my mom was just very worried about me being queer. And again, it's the way that at some point when I started dating people, like I just remember like my mom just, I don't know. I remember like her just being happy for me in this way. That's like there are so many women that are like when you find a man, that's you being a woman. And I just think like that's part of it, not all of it. Because again, like when you're fat, like people really act like you're ugly. And it's awkward because I feel like in the beginning of like my internet career, I was like, oh, I'm fat, but like I get dick, bitch. And like again, it's the ways that like who cares? Clearly me. But again, it's the ways that like you'll be so worried about people like thinking you're ugly, you won't even realize you think you're ugly. You think you're projecting that. Like, don't get me wrong. People talk about fat bitches not getting dick and like being ugly all the time. True. But also the ways that like in your own mind, you're like, oh, I want people to know like I'm being loved. And like the ways that like you'll perform to show people like you're not like these other fat people who aren't getting loved. And like I wasn't considering that. I wasn't considering that like a lot of my content was like me trying to reaffirm that like I'm lovable. And like I'm grateful that I'm finally in a place where I can like see that and not perform being loved, like just accept the love that I'm getting and like keep on creating. But again, it's the ways that like so much of my content, even like the clothing hauls and shit, I grew up poor as fuck. That Torrid credit card changed my life. And again, it's the ways that like money can like really change your life. And like people will think you're doing something, but no, you're just buying stuff. I think it's a weird question to ask anybody, honestly. Like, I think if someone is queer and they want you to know, they'll tell you. I think some people just don't want to hear that. That, like, if we love you and we want you to know who we are, we'll tell you. Because some people are so concerned about their kids being queer and doing something. And that's another thing too. It's like there were so many moments when I was a kid where queer stuff was happening with other kids. Other kids were getting caught doing stuff. And I just remember that like all of us laughing about it. All of us little kids laughing. We did not take it seriously. Like I remember like when I was younger, there was this girl that like had a clubhouse. And I remember like her and this boy like in this boy who I want to say he was my neighbor, like her and him were like laying on the floor and they weren't doing anything, but they were like definitely like having an intimate moment. And I remember like a bunch of kids, like all of us just like looking through the windows and like nothing was happening, but we were all just like feeling so scandalized by two people laying on a floor. They weren't laying on top of each other, they weren't simulating anything. And I just remember like just that moment feeling so dangerous. And again, like the ways that like when I was a kid, like there weren't a lot of adults checking on us. Like I remember a lot of kids always in the street, always outside in the woods, burning shit. Like I'm from Connecticut. I'm from like a town called Meriden, Connecticut. Feel free to look it up if you want to. It's ugly, but there's a lot of places to go and like there's a lot of creeks and shit like that. So you could do a lot of shit like by yourself and never get caught. But again, it's the ways that like I remember as a kid like just seeing so much weird shit and there was no one to tell because it's almost like you're gonna get in trouble if you tell anybody what you see. And I think about that too, like how many of you have stories that you can't tell them yet, like, and it's crazy because again, where would we be as a species if some of these things got out? I think about that all the time, like certain stuff. Like I remember one time these two boys got caught in a closet kissing and they were very young, and I remember like they both got beat real bad, and I just remember thinking to myself, like, you could get beat for kissing someone. And I was like, dang. And again, like there's so many moments in my life where I think about how I was so scared of like getting beat that I didn't do certain stuff. And my heart goes out to anybody who had to go through that as well, where like you're scared as fuck that like you're gonna get in trouble for doing something. And I'm not trying to say that like when you're young you should be doing every motherfucking thing. But I think about how like there's so many moments where like you're scared of like your emotions. You're scared of like what they mean. And as I got older, the more I started to be worried about, not worried about being gay, but just worried about people thinking I was gay because my mom thought I was gay. So I'm like, damn, my mom think I'm gay. That is a moment. And again, someone telling you that they're seeing you be gay. Oh my god, I remember I lived with this lady. I feel like I've talked about her before. Her name is Bianchi. I'm not telling you her real fucking name because like honestly, bitch, she's rich as fuck and honestly she can do something to me. Like I really feel like there are some people I don't speak on their whole shit. But she was like a really like wow. Like when I think about it, like I lived with her when I was really, really, really little. And like, bitch, my mom had to like rescue me. Like that's what's even crazier that I ever lived with her again. Cause like my mom, the way my mom tells the story, she had just had my little brother who's like 7 years younger than me. So I was like seven. And this woman, Miss Bianchi, came to my mom and was like, "You already have two kids. You should give me this one." That's what my mom dead ass told me. That like this woman was on some Rumpelstiltskin shit, and she's like, "You already have a baby." She's like, "You already have two babies. Let me have this one." And my littlest brother's white passing, and so I want you to consider like my white passing mom holding her only white passing child, and this black woman is like, "Hey, you already got these two little brown kids. Like, let me get that white one off you." And my mom was like, take her to me. And she did. She just took me instead. And I want to say that, like, that was obviously crazy. And living with her was insane. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I feel like I don't want to do too much. I feel like I've told this story before, but like she was the one who would like put on gospel music and beat me whenever I did anything. But keep in mind, she wasn't paying for daycare. She was leaving me in her house all day. Bitch, of course I was eating Rocky Road ice cream for breakfast. You're gone. Bitch, I'm getting away with whatever I can. What the fuck? And like also she had money, so it's like I would just be getting into all types of shit in her house, just snooping around. You're leaving like a fucking 7 year old in your house all day. But that's what she would do. She'd leave me in her house all day and then I'd get punished for touching stuff. And then like I want to say like at some point like my mom was trying to get me back from her and she dead ass had to come with like the police to like get me back from this lady, which was crazy. But I just remember like the police and my mom like taking me out of school and I was just like and everyone was like looking at me like what the fuck is going on? And again my mom like looks white, so they're like what? They're like why is this white lady taking you away? Like they're like what the hell? But again, like that lady, I lived with her again because like after I went into foster care, like officially, like the state took us away. I went to go live with her after I lived with my aunt, and my aunt was like the first person who took me in, and like me and her used to be cool, but when I think about it, like she really didn't want to have kids. Like she's child free. And I give her a lot of grace because like her and my mom don't like each other, and I didn't really realize that until like later in life. And so the fact that she even took me in, like I have to just hold space for that because she really hate my mom. Like she really hate my mom guts, and my mom really hate her too. So I'm like the fact that she even took me in at all. Wow, but me and her didn't really get along too well because I think like your favorite aunt, once she becomes your mom, it's a different energy. And I think she also didn't want to be a mom, and she also a Sagittarius. So I think just genuinely, I think she was tired. I don't think she realized what having a 13-year-old for the first time as a full-time responsibility would be like. And she was supposed to have help from my uncle, but my uncle was caught up with this hoe. No shade to my uncle, but he was really caught up with this hoe. And it was crazy because, bitch, why I found out my uncle was the side dude. I was shook. I think I asked like somebody, like my mom, like me and my mom one day was talking, and I asked my mom, I was like, how is Laura? She's like, oh, she's like, Laura's okay, but she going through something with her husband. I was like, her husband? I was like, I thought that she was with Uncle James. She's like, oh no. She's like, she married and her and Uncle James. I was like, bitch, not. And I'm over here calling her Aunt Laura. Bitch. Just say your name is Laura, lady. You are married. Like, what is going on, bitch? Like I said, I was never going to be in a child's place. 13 years old, learning that my uncle is a side dude. Come on, bitch. They wanted me to know everybody's business. But anyway, so I'm like 13 years old living with this lady after living with my auntie. And at first it was cool, but I feel like I shared this before. I was a bedwetter as a kid, and like bedwetting a fucking waterbed got him. But damn, she was very pissed off about that one. But again, bitch, what can we do about that, right? Bedwetting is something that just it's like psychological type shit. So I want to say she was very upset about her waterbed being peed on. She was very upset about a lot of things, and also like again, like at this point, at this point, she was more rich than she was before. I'm talking like Urban League rich. I'm talking like black upper crust, like no games. And like I remember like this is the second time I'm living with her, right? And the first time I lived with her, she was leaving me home all day. The second time I lived with her, she has a husband now. And her husband was like this light skinned dude who was like mad goofy. And like he came from a family of like mad, like chunky light skinned people. And lowest of keys, bitch, when we would go out, like we literally looked like a real family because like me and the light skinned husband looked like mad alike. And so people really thought we were a real family. And I think that's why she kept on like, yeah, I think that's why she was cool to take me the second time. Because she's like, you know. And again, the fact that like she took me the first time, and then like my mom took me back, but like the ways that the state was like, she can go back there. And so I'm living with this lady and her husband, and at first it's cool, but then it was awkward as fuck. No, listen, no, Miss Bianchi, I don't think that she hated my mom. I think she was jealous that my mom is a broke ass 20 something year old woman. Well, at that point, my mom was like 30 something. I think, and I don't mean this to be fucked up, but there are going to be women who are upset that they don't have kids yet. There are going to be women that want kids. Like, and I feel like, I feel like as much as I don't like Miss Bianchi, I feel like I don't think that she's a bad person for wanting to be a nurturer. I don't think she was one. I don't think she ever was nurturing towards me, really. I think that she likes the look of seeming like a nurturer in retrospect. I think she liked having me in her life as like a marker of time, as like someone to share life with. Like when I lived with her, she was single. But then when I moved in with her the second time, I'm 13 years old, and like her husband, me and him were very similar. I don't remember his sign or nothing. I don't remember her sign either, bitch. But I know that like she was very clean and neat, and he was very messy to the point where they would have fights about how dirty his ass was. And in retrospect, I realized he had ADHD or autism or something, but he just didn't have time awareness. And like there would be moments where like there would be times where I see myself like as an adult like him, and I see like ways that like, you know, he was going through a lot. And like again, he was a contractor, he was a construction guy, very strong, very big and burly, but such a sweet man, like so nice. Like I really was like, I remember like being really grateful, like on some like, even though these aren't my real families, even though this is my real mom and dad, like he a cool dad, you know, kinda like for the most part. He was very goofy, but he would literally like leave coffee cups for like days on his desk. And at some point, like me and him made a deal that like, you know, I'd clean up his desk so that like Miss Bianchi didn't like get mad at him. And like from there, like our friendship grew. And I always felt like it was quite appropriate, but I feel like he was very childish. And so there were just moments where I know me and him will be being goofy together, having a fun time. And like apparently that would bother her. I didn't know that. But I remember one day she like popped up on me and was like, "He's my husband, bitch," and just walked away. And I didn't know what to say to that because I'm 13 years old, but I just started getting away from him. Like I started like sleeping over at my friend's house more because like it just felt like she was really trying to give me a warning, like like don't don't get too close to him. And it's like between her and him, he was like nice. Like he was goofy as fuck, don't get me wrong, but he was the nice one. And so I was like, dang, like you're like obviously as a 13-year-old, I didn't realize that she was threatened by our relationship. And again, if she would have thought it was inappropriate, that's fine. You know what I mean? I don't want to fight about that. I just think like we were really having a silly time. Like we were just so goofy, and it just felt like she was just like not seeing it like that. Like she was seeing it as like a threat to her. And then like one day randomly I woke up and like all my shit was packed and I was like, oh, okay. And it was crazy because like I feel like I had like things to do that day. And she like stole my fucking alarm clock, like so I wouldn't wake up and like figure it out. It was really crazy. But in the end, I feel like I randomly like messaged her on Facebook and I was like, honestly, I was like, I don't even hate you. I just wish you would explain like what you were up to. Because like you taking me in the first time and like leaving me like a dog in a house, that was really crazy. But then like you like taking me in with a whole husband and then like making me feel like, and again, it's the way that like I don't know. Like, I feel like there's something about being a foster kid that's so crazy because it's like you could be living somewhere and then next thing you know, you live somewhere else, you have a new school, and it's like, and like nobody ever, like, there was no therapy. There was no, like, oh, like, how was that? You know what I mean? So it's like there were just so many moments where as a kid, it was just like, I guess I just have to focus on like this math test on Thursday that I haven't prepared for. Like, it was things like that. I would go to like a different school and then there'd be a test and like I'd be like they'd be like, oh, you don't have to pass it. It's like it's the way that like school didn't mean anything to me because like who knew where I was gonna go to school. I went to like four different high schools, maybe even five, bitch. I might have forgotten one at this point. But I went to so many different schools that like by the time I graduated, like bitch, I graduated with a GPA of 1.6. That's something that really bothered me. But I was just like, and again, I had to like write a letter to get into my college, and they were like, it was a scam school. Unfortunately, I found out. But a lowest of keys, I feel like when your GPA is that low, like like they're probably not going to offer you the best. But I feel like going to that college was good for me. But I do think that like unfortunately, like that woman that I lived with, she did have a child after me, like naturally. And there are just so many moments where I'd be wondering like what that child's life is like because it's like I was never a kid to her. Like I think like again, like some people really treat kids like little ornaments and some people treat like their partners like that. Like some people like they'll get a partner and it's like look at this person that's so hot next to me. Like they don't really care. And I feel like some people are like that with their kids. Like look at this little baby that like, can't escape. You know what I mean? I hate to say that, but like some people like, especially when people have like thousands of kids, it's like, what are you trying to tell us? Like why did you need this many children? So wild to me. But I also think about like, what do you do when you decide you want kids? Like, how do you know when to stop? I don't know. I guess for everybody is different, right? Different situations. But this woman really did, from what my mom said, make her feel like, she has too many kids to be as poor as she is. And it's the way that I lived with this woman who was rich as fuck, but she treated me so poorly. And it's the ways that, like, she would be so mad that I was just existing as a kid would do. So wild. This one, I don't know. The internet is such a strange place because I feel like the internet just randomly shows me people that I used to know, and I don't know if that means that they're like looking for me too. I wanted every drop, bitch. But I've just like seen so many people from my past like recently just pop up, and like I wanna say something so bad. I fucking hate this Mercury retrograde because it makes me want to chat so much. Fuck. Fuck. No, she's not well. No, she's not well at all. She's really not okay. She's really not okay. She's really not okay. I appreciate you for saying that, but like, no, like, this is, again, like, I'm not trying to say I'm okay from that. I'm just trying to say, like, I don't think about it that much. I just know for a fucking fact, though, that like she has a child with that man. And sometimes I want to reach out to him and ask him questions. Like, I hate that for me. I hate that for me so much. Like sometimes, bitch, like the disrespect is enough. You don't need more clarity, but I be really wanting to know, like, what the fuck were you thinking, bitch? Like, where's your mind on? I love candy. Yo, when somebody said that my content's getting boring, I just want y'all to know I love this era. I love that I'm learning how to communicate with people effectively. I love that I'm learning how to regulate myself, ground myself. I love that I'm not jumping out the window. I love that I'm not, getting cussed out by somebody or going through my bosses or somebody trying to fucking make me homeless. Like, babe, I'm so grateful to be boring. I'm so fucking grateful because I've been going through too fucking much. Sidebar, I know I already said this, but I'm telling y'all again, we doing a tarot card party. We do a tarot card party tomorrow night. It's gonna start at 6, but we're gonna do a little party at 5 o'clock just to get everybody vibration up and shit. Cause some people might hear some shit from the cards that's fucked up. And I just want to give them just a moment to laugh and dance and sing and be silly. I'm gonna play y'all some music. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna play. I have no clue. But if anybody has a request, something they want to hear tomorrow night at 5, send it to me and I'll put it on the playlist. I got you. But yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna pull a card for myself on camera because, bitch, I've been ignoring my cards and I know they want to tell me something. And maybe they want to tell you something too, babe. But I'm pulling that middle card because it's definitely spicy in the middle right now for me. Ooh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. So we're gonna read from the book just because, again, I'm not trying to do too much. I just wanted to give a little message to collective and to myself because, bitch, strength is needed. But the cards that we got, this is the middle card. Thank you for listening. Like, I don't want to just come here and trauma dump on you, promise. But sometimes, bitch, I be smoking some weed and they be reminding me some crazy shit. This is on the top. I'm gonna start with the middle card. I'm gonna start with what's in the gut, and then this is on the bottom. I know, bitch, right? All right. So we're gonna start with that first card, which honestly, like, just get into my sis again. Just get into the wealth. Get into the mirror. I'm obsessed. This is the Black Tarot deck. If people are interested in purchasing it, it is very affordable and worth their time. I got it for a birthday gift. Christopher, yikes. Dane got it for me for my birthday, and I'm hella grateful. But yeah, okay, so this was the card I pulled. 8 of Coins, education and employment. A woman sits at a table engaging in a variety of forms of divination. Her passion and soul mission have led her to work on strengthening her connections to her ancestors and their wisdom and knowledge. This card speaks of the energy of giving your all. The woman is cultivating her divination abilities, seeing how her gifts can help her as a light worker who intends to improve the lives of others. Each time she does the same task with regularity and unwavering attention, she moves towards a new level of mastery, paying meticulous attention to every detail. She finds her work profoundly productive and satisfying. The 8 of Coins is a reminder to carve out time to hone your skills and talents. It is important to move beyond your comfort zone and the limitations you have set for yourself in order to evolve and see your true capabilities. Know that any energy, time, and heart you invest in your development will be worth your while. Production and routine, making money through skilled labor, mastery, and skill development. Having a personal dance party. What I tell y'all, we got to get that done soon. We got to definitely dance. But yeah, that one was in the middle. I feel like the middle card is kind of like, in your gut, something that you know to be true that you might not be speaking out loud. Some of y'all may have some magical rituals or some practices, or maybe you just have some way of channeling some kind of divine. I really hope that you allow yourself to be new at Conjure. We're not going to all do the same stuff to get the same results. And as I was saying earlier, like, as a natural witch, I am focusing on what people have already done before. There are so many people who have already done the work that you may want to do. Go find them. Especially if we're talking about my fire girls right now, the Leo girls. Y'all got an extra boost from Mercury. Don't waste it. Do not waste it. My Aqua girls. The Geminis. Y'all got something. All right. The 5 of Baskets. This was on top. This is the high key. Disappointment. Loss. A man has dropped cartons of eggs on the ground at a market. Although one carton is unsalvageable, four others are intact. But the man's focus is on the loss. Loss is painful. The five of baskets offers permission to grieve. Allow for a release, as all your emotions are valid. Part of the healing process involves mourning and processing. Remember that healing is not linear. Some days, weeks, months, or years will be easier than others. Avoiding things doesn't make them go away. Make space for being in your feelings, but don't make a home there. Not all is lost. Practice shifting your focus to joyous memories. You will feel happiness again. Trust that the best is yet to come. Dwelling on the negative and not appreciating what you have, loss of perspective, disappointment, and regret. Excuse me. Recite daily affirmations with intent. Baby, because again, things be lost. Now, this last card, we got the strength card on the bottom. This is a whisper from spirit, just trying to offer us a little bit of armor because the strength card is such a beautiful card. I don't know if folks can really see what it was. I'm going to show it to you again. But that strength card is important. It's two people dance fighting. It's capoeira. If you never watched that Bob's Burgers episode, I invite you. Courage, strength, yes. A woman communes with a panther, operating in a sustainable equilibrium with nature. It takes courage and power to act in accordance with your heart, mind, and soul. There is no true strength without love. Strength is a reminder that if you stay grounded, you will triumph. She encourages you to be brave. You have what it takes to handle whatever comes your way. The strength card does not call for brute force, but rather for a soft yet firm balance. When the strength card is pulled, it is time to consider the following. Do you trust in your capabilities? Are you ready to face the day? Do you have the strength to show both yourself and others grace and compassion? The flower associated is peonies for compassion. Element is fire. Chakra is the heart. Courage, determination, persuasion, influence, bravery, overcoming self-doubt, perseverance. Make a pilgrimage, master a new skill. And the affirmation, I am a fearless alchemist, able to transform all that is negative into that which is positive. Okay. I hear you. I think we know that the strength card is that Leo card. Leo rules the strength, and Leo right now is where our Mercury retrograde is at. And so I think one thing to impart from these cards is that shit is changing. And it may feel like shit is changing for the worst, but as I said earlier, we're going through an extinction burst. And I want people to do some research and look into what that means. But when behavior of the dominant, when the oppressor is no longer able to hit a button and get their reward, they start to beat the shit out of the machine. That's what's happening right now. The machine is being shaken because the white cis men can't believe they're not getting their treat anymore. They're trying to raise the standards of violence because, again, they're constantly raising, unfortunately, but they're raising the conditions of violence and the levels and the environment so that they can get their treat. And what's happening? There are so many women and non-men with more information who are saying things like, I'd actually rather be single, or I'd actually rather go and date somebody who looks like me, a fellow femme. I'd rather be with someone who doesn't perform masculinity to harm me or anyone. And so that's what I was saying earlier about white supremacy dying. Like, white people are going through an extinction burst. They're looking around, seeing black and brown people. They're looking around, hearing black and brown people. They cannot escape. I want people to consider that like 10 years ago, we did not see this many black people on our screens. We just didn't, especially if your algorithm is absolutely informed by you only following people of color, specifically black people. And that's something that the world we live in has to correct itself to accept. And it is not there yet. And that is not anyone Black's fault. Nobody Black has to do a damn thing for the rest of us to catch the fuck up. And so, with that being said, I hope people look into Extinction Burst and start to apply it to other people who are oppressors. Because there's not just an extinction burst happening with men, there's an extinction burst happening with Trilly, hey bitch. There's an extinction burst happening with us light skinned people. Us light skinned people are absolutely going crazy because we keep on hearing about colorism. That's not why we're going crazy. We're going crazy because we keep hearing about how we're being oppressors. People aren't willing to be quiet about light skinned people being harmful. I'm not saying that there aren't still people afraid of engaging us. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there are deep dark skinned people who are like, I'm not going to talk to you about your behavior. I'm going to create a platform for myself and share about your behavior with the collective that I trust and who loves me. And so, with that being said, this is a difference. There aren't many places physically where we can engage with Black thought or even like Afro surrealist ideas or Afro pessimist ideas. I want just folks to consider the conversation from a few days ago where we were talking about hate and how there are so many Black folks who don't use that word because in their households they were told that is not a good word to be using. And the ways that white people cannot relate, there are so many words that Black folks do not use collectively because, again, the ways in which people see it. And I remember there's a YouTuber that I follow. Her name is Flower Tower. She is a Black woman who is actually very local to me, and I pray I see her ass one day. Because if I ever see her, bitch, it's the way I'm acting stupid. But she was saying that she don't even say she hates white people, even though she don't fuck with them. She's like, I won't do it because then they'll come for me in a particular way. They'll make it seem like I'm saying what they be saying when they're talking about Black people. And it's the ways that so many Black people are very strategic about what the fuck they say because somebody can really sit up there and take their soundbite and now they're getting dragged or worse. And so, with that being said, it's the ways that like there's an extinction burst happening for so many privileged people because the people we oppress are no longer willing to be silent, no longer willing to be harmed and keep it to themselves. And I'm grateful that we are noticing in real time the spell of shame kind of dissipate, where people are like, wait, if I tell my story, that might be more important than how some people might not appreciate or accept me. And again, we're seeing that in real time. We're seeing pushback to harmful ideology in real time. That wasn't happening 20 years ago online. It wasn't. I remember I was fighting a lot of people about stuff. I wasn't always right. And that's not what I'm really trying to get at. But it's the way that like people don't fight online like they used to. They're not going back and forth, they're blocking you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there are spaces still online where people are talking to each other, still trying to connect. And I see that more now than ever. Like, it's very fascinating. One of these kink sites that I'm on for doing like sex work, it's becoming so fucking political. And it's like, whoa. And when I say political, I just mean like every now and then I'll see a titty, I'll see somebody selling some coochie, and then, people are bringing up the late night show, CBS, fuck you, Epstein's List, and I'm like, oh wow, like this shit's turning into Twitter. Yeah, truly, that. Aw, bitch, I want to do Capoeira so bad. Oh, BC, thanks for coming through. I'm glad. Like I said, I've been neglecting my cards for myself, and it's nothing personal. It's just sometimes I be overwhelmed, bitch. And like, last thing I want to hear is my motherfucking my spirits, my ancestors letting me know, like, And over here too. But I feel like this reading was really just about noticing that things are not going well, but not focusing on that only. Yes, things aren't going well. That's good that you noticed that. Imagine if things weren't going well, you was acting like that's just fine, or you was too tired to care. There's moments to celebrate all the time, but I understand not seeing it. I also understand being like I'm actually in my mode of anger. You could really get locked into rage, and I totally hold space for that because rage is righteous. Like it's like the ways that the ways that damn, how do I even say this shit? The ways that there's a disconnection from rage in many marginalized communities, and the ways that like white supremacy thrives on everyone else being afraid to retaliate or even fucking respond to the violence. And so it's the ways that like there's going to be times where there are black people very upset and they are going to cause harm. And we have to hold that it's not because they're black people. It's because they've been harmed and people have the nerve to say, well, that's just what black people do. It's the ways that like blackness has been lied on, and it's the ways that some black people feel like it's their job to try to correct the image. It's the ways that there are black people right now fighting about a statue that's already existing. It's not going anywhere. But there are so many black people upset about this fat black woman statue. And I'll give you that like in ways I hold that like as I said earlier, when I started creating content, I thought I was a black person. I thought I was a fat black person. It's the ways that I went out of my way to look beautiful as fuck. I went out of my way to pay to look beautiful as fuck because I knew if I come up on here looking ugly, it's gonna be a problem, not just for me, but for people that watch me and for like people that maybe aspire to look like me, or for people that are fat in the ways I'm fat, or people that are black or lighter skin, or people that are seeing me as a black person and seeing me as connected to them. It's the ways that like there are so many black women who create content who are very aware that if they look ugly to anybody, it will be a problem. It'll be talked about in their thread or some shit. And it's awkward because again, what is ugliness really when you're not white? You know what I mean? What's ugly? What's not done? Like it's that. So that's what I'm trying to get at. That like when you're seen as like a fat black woman in the world, there are people that will really expect you to look better because the world is saying that you look like X, Y, or Z. Don't you ever like? It's the ways that like there are so many fat black femmes that I've met that have told me straight up, I will never wear sweatpants, and I'm like, tell me more. Because again, it's the ways that like growing up, I wouldn't wear no sweatpants either, bitch. The fuck? And again, it's the ways that I went right to leggings and a big shirt because again, it's the way sweatpants is seen as like ugly. And like if you're wearing them, are you ugly now? No. But again, it's the again, there ain't no peace for the marginalized folk out here. And then the more that you are a thinker, don't be a thinker and be oppressed because then you be trying to really figure out the algorithm. Like, how the fuck did we get here? How the fuck am I ugly? Like, what? Again, it don't make no sense. Don't try to understand it. It's all a trick to literally run out your brain, to literally like run all the energy, steal all the electrolytes out you. It's really fucked. Monica Peach, hey baby, hope you're doing well. I'm doing as best as I can, you know what I mean? I feel like we're in the beginning of a world, so I feel like I'm excited. I'm excited for the beginnings. So many fashions are chic on smaller bodies, but lazy or ugly on larger bodies. That's true. That's true. And again, it's like, what is ugly? Like it's the way that I really be wondering, and then it's the ways that like we see somebody and we all say they're beautiful. We all say they're ugly, and it's like obviously we're not all saying anything. But the ways that we can think that, the ways that there are people that think Beyonce ugly, but like, would they ever say it? Fuck no. And it's the ways that like we can't say some people are ugly because then what are we saying? And then it's the ways that like if we say certain people are ugly, we are absolutely seemingly implying something. And it's so awkward because like I don't know. I think about how language is so loaded and like how you can say something and it just means so many things depending on how much people know you or not. But going back to the thing about saying that you hate white people, it's awkward as fuck. To talk about white supremacy at times, because again, I know I've been around white people a lot, and I want to be candid. Like growing up, like I feel like I was very much aware that like there was a desire to say we're including people of color. There was a desire to say you can come to my house and shit like that. But it's like every time, like I just think about my past experiences, and I think about how until I started to really engage with what anti-blackness was in terms of like the behavior and like the comments, like not just the hair touching, not just the things that we know, like the things that come up afterwards, and the ways that like so many things pop up in your mind. So many instances of anti-blackness are now revealed because you have the adult perspective of your thoughts. And the ways that like growing up with a white passing woman telling me she's black, she's never spending any real time talking to me about her experience or about what it means for me to look how I look and for her to look how she looks. And so by the time I'm learning that racism exists, I'm waiting for it to be someone to say something. I'm waiting, like it's the way that like as I got older, every year of my life, I learned that like, oh, racism can be this. And it's the ways that like no adult in my family is telling me about this. I'm just like on some like on my own, going out into the world, repeatedly experiencing, oh, somebody's white father said something racist and nobody said anything. And it just became obvious at some point that there are moments where people are racist and no one says anything and you feel weird. And like that is something that just happens to people. And obviously over time, I start to realize I can actually cuss that white person out. Like I can say something, but it's the ways that like I had to learn that on my own. There was never an adult person around me that ever said like, oh, white people are racist. Like no one ever told me. And that's why like there are times where like, I know some people will think I'm obsessed. I don't give a fuck because I think about the ways that like people don't think about anti-blackness. They don't think about it at fucking all. And the ways that like for the rest of us who think about it because we've experienced it, we're like, good goddamn, like what a privilege to not even know that like there's hell out there for people that is overt and covert at the same motherfucking time and let you talk about it. Now you're the fucking problem. And the ways that like as I'm talking about anti-blackness existing, I'm just noticing a bunch of white people around me getting uncomfortable. And I'm just like not understanding that like they're uncomfortable because they're not able to understand. And instead of asking more questions, they're now scared. And in their fear, they're running away. And so I was very upset in the beginning because I'm just like, where are the white people that used to be my friend? And it's just funny as fuck in retrospect because it's like, well, they weren't really your friend. They were white people who felt comfortable with how you were behaving. And the least now you're no longer behaving in a way that is familiar to them. Now you're acknowledging that they are white. And instead of them holding that, like, I had to figure out what that meant. I didn't just know you were white. I didn't just know like what your whiteness meant to me, that I had to live a long time with no fucking information. And I had to read so many books, watch so many videos to get to a certain point where I can see like that you're using this identity as a weapon, and the ways that white people could not handle it and just decided I'm racist. And the ways that there are so many white people today who hear conversations that black folks are privileging us with. Like the fact that anybody black turns on their camera and talks about anti-whiteness, or excuse me, anti-blackness and having anti-white sentiment. We're not promised any of that. But the ways that, again, we live in a world where like, because so many people who are not black don't talk about this subject, more and more black people are like, I'm gonna just be brand friendly because again, where's the fucking support? Like, why the fuck would you be one of like how many black people on a platform where you can only say so many things before you get fucking attacked or shadow banned? And again, it's the ways that when I think about like who is talking, I think about how like I have so many people I love to watch and I share them, but I repeatedly see the same cis black men without a lot of nuance in their content being like the seemingly like the ones to be watching in like black psychoanalyst or black surrealist, black Afro pessimist space. And it's so wild to consider that there are so many black cis men. Right. No, like the more you say white, the more you talk about white supremacy, the more you are plain, the more dangerous it can be. And again, I smoke weed almost every video. The video on anti-whiteness that I made the other day was flagged and was like age restricted, which is not typical of my content. Even though my content is like set up for people over 18, this one had like a warning on it. And it was like, wow, like white supremacy has gotten to a point where AI knows to put a warning on something that could distress somebody white. And it was just so fascinating that like the candid thoughts about white supremacy are seemingly too what for someone under 18 to take. Like, I'm not saying that I want anyone under 18 to be here, but I'm just trying to offer that, like, they were really like, we have to protect this content from the youth. And the content was me being candid about anti whiteness and how not liking white people is something that we need to do. Too informative indeed, but even that, even considering it too informative, it's like, what are you protecting white people from? And again, it's the ways that I talked to this white person last night, and like there was a moment in combo where they thought they were in trouble for being candid about how like they were like, ugh, and I don't want to be triggering anyone, but I had a combo with a white person who at one point revealed that like, they're not invested in politics and they're 24 years old, so I'm not going to give them too much shit. But they're like, I'm not really invested in politics. And they're like, everyone's a person to me. And it's so fucking funny because, like, it's the ways that, like, I found the video called I Bet You're Too Woke for White Fragility. And, like, it was just a moment that I had to sit with that, like, these younger white people know for sure that white supremacy is a thing, but they think if they focus on the economy and classism and everything else, that they can never have to talk about white supremacy and their contribution to it. And it's fascinating to watch because talking to them is so like you could talk to them for much longer than some white people of certain ages, but the younger white people have really figured out how to talk around shit. And it's so sick. Like they'll really just talk in a big fucking circle and think that they really told you something. And the whole time you're like, all right, sweetie, well, this is your privilege. And again, it's the ways that like there was fear I could tell on his side, but a lot of curiosity. And I feel like in the end it was really funny because like this motherfucker, like he like cancers, man. A cancer gonna get me, bitch. A cancer gonna get me in the end. But in the end, I read a little bit of his birth chart and he had some shit with him. And I was really grateful for it because, again, I feel like for me, I really love like hermit type people, like people that really sit for a long time with their thoughts. Like that's like the sexiest trait to me. I love people that can really sit for a long time with their thought. And I just feel like that's the thing. Like, there's just a lot of personal work that has to be done. Like people have to do it themselves, but then also there has to be people that are willing to like be vulnerable with them. And I'm thinking about that too. I'm thinking about how like, some of my lived experiences, I can absolutely relate to white people. And I'm saying that as someone who is trying to like sit with how there's so much information about white fragility and the ways white people show up when they think their feelings should matter more than anti-blackness unfolding and being in right relationship. I'm trying to sit with and find more content on light skin fragility because the more that I listen to white people white people talk about how they've like caused harm or derailed spaces with their fragility, the more I'm interested in finding like companion pieces for us light skinned people, because there have definitely been moments where like I've had like just awful thoughts or just awful like ways of operating. And instead of like just sitting with that and feeling shame, I'm trying to find content that aligns with the things that I've thought about, the things that I've maybe said or done, that acknowledge that like there will be some people who will see a lighter skinned person and think that they're safe. And that's not true. And I hate that like saying this when the person is when a person is deep dark skin and they say this, people will really fly to attack. Whereas for me, I think every now and then I'll get someone that tells me I'm mentally unwell. Like every now and then I'll get somebody willing to fight for us light skinned people. But I'll say this, I've noticed that like whenever I talk about us light skinned people, depending on a lot of factors, but not really, people will tell me that I'm not light skinned anymore. And it's so fascinating that like people will like deny that I'm a light skinned person. Like they'll take away, like they'll tell me that they're taking away my privilege and telling me I'm brown. And it's so fucked because again, that's so colorist to make it seem like someone's no longer light skinned because they're saying something that you expect someone deep dark skinned to say. And it's the ways that like you could really be the right place for the colonizer. And I want people to start considering like, what are you fighting for? Like what is the point of jumping up right now? Why was this moment so important? Because there's gonna be moments where you're uncomfortable as fuck, and that's okay. There's gonna be moments where you just don't know what the fuck to do. You're so stressed. I hope that we can like actually acknowledge that like there might need to be a space for like maybe like racial trauma or just like anti-black motherfucking uh anti-black happenings. Like I just want to be candid that like that might need to be a thing that exists, and I'm interested in collaborating if people are interested as well. But I'm cool to just talk about it and dream about it until it exists. But there are gonna be moments that unfold where like you really don't know like what the fuck to do or like who to call. And I'm grateful that I have friends in my life who have offered to like do mediations for me and be asking questions of other people in the moment. And so I feel like that's really where I'm at as a person. Like I keep trying to tell folks like I don't want to focus too much on like what's happening right now. I know we have to, but I want us to also make space to dream about what else we could be doing, because being someone who has currently been not formally employed for a while, I've just been really thinking about the ways that like our lives could be so much better if we actually talk to each other more, if we actually were in community. Like one of my friends, like a couple of my friends have invited me to stay with them and like have asked me to like come, like, and they're all different types of places. And I think about how like what if like I'm something like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, bitch? Like I'm just like there's gotta be a way for us to figure this out. I just feel like more of us need to leave where we live. And I feel like that's part of why I think like I am the way I am, because like I never lived anywhere. Like I have a hometown share. It's where I lived the longest at any point in time, but I still left that place a lot and lived other places. Was exposed to all different types of people, had to get all in and out of all different types of situations. And so I kind of don't really know what it's like to be anywhere for a long time or need to be somewhere. And I don't know, maybe some people could use that. Get it. Bitch, they be playing with me. Word. I mean, Goblin Poppy, you're not wrong. I think like I definitely remember like as I'm like unlearning like colorism, or as I'm unlearning as I'm unlearning and unraveling, I'll just say that unlearning and unraveling, I'm I'm definitely hearing from people that that us light skinned people are the white people of black people. And I remember thinking to myself, damn. And now I think about that statement. I think about how much colonization shapes that thought and that idea, and how us light skinned people have been pretty harmful, and like again have really shifted many conversations. And I'm seeing a combo unfold right now about African free features and people calling themselves African American or Black. Sidebar, there's a moment I want to talk about with Raven Simone, and she recently was going out of her way to say she's Black American. There's just a really colorist and also like multi-generationally mixed thing unfolding right now where many light-skinned mixed people who have African American or Black ancestry are making it a point to try and couch blackness in lighter skin. And I've heard so many people ever since I've been talking about how erasing us mixed people can be. I've been just hearing so many people say, well, most black people are light skinned. Like I've heard that. And I know that's not true. But again, it's the ways that like where are the rest of us, you know? And so I don't want anyone to think like they're crazy or they're wrong for being frustrated about us mixed people gaslighting and lying. Like it makes sense to be angry. And even if I wasn't saying it makes sense, fuck me. I don't matter. But again, just to be reaffirming that like we are causing harm, a lot of it. And like there's not many people who are looking like me or are white that are willing to say this. And I also want to hold that like I've had so many people get angry with me. And like luckily I don't fucking know them. So I didn't really take what they were saying too seriously, but there have been people who have told me straight up that I need to shut the fuck up. And like, it's awkward because it's like, I could understand if I was selling a book. I could understand if I was like doing a seminar and I was like, oh, I know so much about colorism. Like, I could understand if I was doing that. But I feel like I'm trying to have like random ass conversations where the stakes are very low so that we can start to acknowledge that like a lot of people can talk about a lot of things if they're willing to implicate themselves, if they're willing to uplift people who are having the conversation because they're aware of it, because it's their lived experience. Like, there's just so many moments where I sit with how a lot of us are leaving things up to Black people to figure out how to communicate when we should be uplifting, when we should be saying the things that we've seen. Like, there's just, again, there's so many people that will not appreciate what I'm doing. And I'm okay with that. I wish they were okay with me being okay with that, but they're not. There are people that really think that like we're supposed to be fighting forever because what? Because what? Because I'm unwilling to stay complicit as an op. I'd actually like to operate in the vein of abolition. I'd like to be as supportive as possible, but I know that that means I have to ask questions and I have to ask people, individuals. Like we can't be operating ever as non-black people like we know how to help all black people. That's insane. That's making it seem like all black people need our help. That's insane. So again, it's the way that there are going to be black folks that need support, and I'm here. But there are going to be moments where like people really don't appreciate me uplifting that. You know, a group of us light skinned people are being anti-black. 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna hold that it's probably a fellow mixed person, and or a person who feels bad, you know, for us. And I think about that too. That like there are a lot of people who pity us light skinned people who think that we're weirdos because insert all types of shit. Like people have said to me, they think mixed people are weird because they white mama. They're weird because they gotta divest their daddy. It's all types of reasons that other people are influencing why we're weird. And it's like we're not even main characters in the critique. So I'm trying to just again hold that like until white people made content where they were addressing their own whiteness, it felt like, damn, like, are we gonna always, as people of color, have to be the ones that talk about y'all? And now I'm seeing white people talk about white people, and it's like the information that I'm getting more, but I also think about the ways that, like, you know, that's triggering to hear white people be so candid. And so that's why again, I'm not mad at people frustrated with me, but it's like if you're frustrated because you're hearing someone be candid as fuck about being anti-black and a colorist, I'm gonna hold space for that. But also I want to hold that like there are people being anti-black and they don't care, and there are people being anti-black and they don't know. And then there's, you know, content created like this where I'm like actively trying to figure out where was the anti-blackness coming from. And again, there are going to be people who are offended by by the content that's created because they may be thinking that I'm trying to figure out Black people, when no, I'm trying to understand how not to harm Black people while simultaneously acknowledging that I have. And that like there are gonna be people who see me as a Black person and be confused as fuck about why I care. Like there's gonna be a lot of people revealing things that they think about anti-Blackness, things that they think that are maybe anti-Black. This space may not be safe for everybody, and I'm trying to hold that in real time. But I'm also trying to hold that there is something important about acknowledging the harm that I've done, because I'm aware at this point from listening that there are so many of us light skinned people who will do fucked up things and then, oh, we got a new life, a new rebrand. And that's not what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm the same motherfucking person. I just literally have been listening. And that was very much like the least that I could do. And so there are going to be people who, again, who may think that I'm trying to position myself in a particular way. And obviously, because I sell stuff, I'm a business person. I feel like there's always going to be like a level of like, is this an ad? You know, are you doing this for money? And I feel like I'm doing some things for money. I'm doing some things to build community. I'm doing some things because they just feel good. I'm doing some things because I don't know. I guess in my mind, I'm like, I want to, I want to create in ways that I don't see yet. I want to do things that make me feel good. I want to think about in the future if I was like, if I like owned a bodega, you know, like what would the music be playing in there? Well, who would I hire? Like, what would I sell? I'm just trying to think like if I know that the future is indigenous, like where do I want to be in the future? And I'm thinking about how, you know, I really have been invested in plant medicine. I feel weird about calling myself a healer. I just feel like there's just, it's such a loaded word. But I think like I'm invested in operating in humanity's best interest. But I'm also very much interested in like, like, this is gonna sound how it sounds, but as much as like I'm a main character, I love being like a fucking like I love being like a supporter. Like I love being like the one that, you know, like I'll make the tea, like I'll sit with you a while you're talking. Like I don't necessarily need to be the main character, but I have been. And again, part of that is the expectance. You know, you put on a blonde wig and some makeup and people are like, "Hey, let's listen to you." And again, it's the ways that like I didn't really have to tell people to pay attention to me on the internet. People were giving me a lot of attention, and at the time, I was delusional. I thought that it was just me. Over listening and after, rather, while listening, still listening, I'm sitting with the ways that like people assume us light skinned people are nice, cool, attractive. And again, the ways that like people have said things to me that let me know that being a light skinned person is a thing, that like people are very much invested in telling us who we're gonna be. And I remember people telling me like just people making comments about me being light skinned in this way that kind of let me know like it was a good thing to be light skinned, that it was something that they liked about me. It wasn't ever a joke. And again, it's the ways that like people will reveal a lot to people who they feel like are privileged, or they feel like are superior. People will say things to try to again appeal to you, to make you feel. And again, it's the ways that like privilege isn't natural. Like no one is naturally better than anyone at all. So even like even being around people who are invested in like telling me I'm something, that experience of like knowing that like there's a behavior you're expecting from me, there's a way I'm supposed to behave here, and then not doing it, not being like the light skinned girl that like you want to be cool with because I'm talking too much, or being I'm man spreading and my legs are wide open and I'm not sitting cross legged. Like all the ways that like when people talk to us light skinned people, they're telling us how to behave and telling us or taking back energy from us because we're not behaving in the right way. And again, the ways that like I didn't think about it too deeply. I was just living, but the ways that people would see me existing and be like, you know, you're light skinned, so you're supposed to be doing this. And I'm like, what? Like, that's who said it? Who said? So just getting back to the point I was making, it's fascinating that now that I'm communicating that like I don't want to be a light skinned person who is sitting by watching anti-blackness unfold in a particular way, people are like, you're not light skinned. And I'm like, what? And now I'm like, oh shit. So this is a whole nother layer of motherfucking violence. Cause now you're saying that the words that reaffirm that we're causing harm as light skinned people make you dark. Wow. They have racialized rhetoric. They have racialized rhetoric. They have literally turned words into a color. They have said that if you say these words, you're black now. You're darker now. Like, what? Again, I know anti-blackness and white supremacy don't add up, but it's the way that like there are people trying to understand it. And so they'll tell you things that let you know this is how they're navigating it. No, I've definitely had people tell me that like since I'm not black anymore, I should shut the fuck up. And I'm like, that's not how this works. Like if I know now that I'm not a black person, I actually have to talk more. Because again, how many people do y'all know like me that have like a very tooth sand hot dog colored ancestor and are saying that they're black, but they're not. Again, I'm not creating this content to go viral because honestly, I don't want to fight with nobody who's really trying to keep us mixed people, you know, in this haze of delusion. I'm really creating content at this point for people that are interested in just like sitting around and hanging out and having some conversations. But I'm also trying to just like use this platform to branch out into, as I said, the Discord, Sunday dinner. I would much rather hear from you. I feel like the typing and the texting, I don't know about you, I fucking hate texting. I hate typing. I would much rather talk, which is why I do this. But the dinner allows people who are in the chat to actually be heard and get a full thought out instead of just be relegated to a few sentences or maybe a little paragraph. And again, I'm not sure how many people are interested in being perceived. We don't expect you to like show your picture or like be super like I haven't been on the Discord in like a week. Like I dead ass like did the dinner on Sunday and haven't been back there. And so I want to be candid that like nobody is checking up on anybody in there for the most part, or at least of all me, bitch. I feel like my thought process is like go nuts, have fun. But again, if you have suggestions for the space, if you have ideas, if you want to help out, if you have an idea for an event that you'd like to host, that'd be cool as fuck. I would love to see people do stuff like that because again, who knows? Like maybe the Discord leads to you creating like content on your own. Maybe the Discord leads to you maybe building up a fan base. Who fucking knows? I don't know. But I feel like if we're being supportive of each other, who knows what could happen? And that's really my thought process is like, how could this place maybe allow people to, you know, find new music that they like, find new places that they want to maybe move to. I just know that there's so many layers to everything. Um, hot dog colored indeed. Again, there are people that are wanting to fight for people's blackness, and so I feel like that's why again that's why I'm talking how I'm talking because again I thought I was a black person. I thought that I had to claim my blackness. I thought that I had to operate a particular way. I thought a lot of things and I didn't ask a lot of questions because when I did, a lot of people would call me stupid. And I didn't want to be stupid, right? You don't want to be dumb. And it's the ways that some of us will be so quiet around people because we're scared of how they're going to perceive us. Whole time, do we perceive that person as being extremely knowledgeable? It just be so sad in retrospect, like how we be scared of people and not going along with stuff when why are we afraid? Like there are so many moments where I like now where I'm like, why are we afraid? Where I actively ask myself, like, what is your fear? What is your apprehension? And that's when I'm able to get to it. But so many times in my past, I've just been like, I'm scared, so I'm gonna just do something. And see, that's the thing too. Thank you for saying that, Meryl Streep, because like people will say that I'm operating like I remember like I'm still holding that conflict I had with Tanya, where Tanya was saying that I'm like positioning myself as like an expert on anti-blackness, and it's like no, Tanya, like I've just been listening to black people, and it sucks that like you don't hear that. But this is the work of black folk. Like black folk have shared so much that I'm very much trying to pace myself and take in as much as I can and apply it to myself. But I don't think every person is going to appreciate somebody shifting away from like being a op or an exploiter or a fucking a tether to black people. I don't think everyone's gonna appreciate that. And I feel like sometimes we have to hold that sometimes we don't really care if the bitch gets better. Like let's just be real. I think that's a reality. Like sometimes we really don't care if that bitch get better. And I feel like that's real as fuck. Like I don't want anyone to think that like they have to care about me fucking unlearning. Like again, for anybody who doesn't appreciate this content, I appreciate you for knowing yourself. I'm really in a completely different headspace at this point, and I'm grateful as fuck because I'm now realizing there are so many things I used to be worried about, but that worry, that shame, that fear, I needed to tap into that. Like my discomfort is important. I shouldn't ever really be too comfortable. There should be a level of like, am I fucking up? And should I get, maybe I need to ask for help. Like I think sometimes we may not realize like how certain emotions are just new. They're just new. They're not bad. You just don't know how to hold them yet. And so I'm trying to hold that as well, that there's so many things I don't know how to hold yet, but I'll learn. And so that's where I'm at too. Like I don't believe that I'm gonna stop anything really, but I'm gonna have to take breaks. You too. Here's my thing. I feel like with Tanya, I think Tanya really wanted to interject, and I'll give her that. She wanted to interject, and I was trying to ask her like what she wanted, but I think if I'm being candid, I think that's the risk of like sitting and talking about something that you don't understand. Like I have to hold that like there will always be people uncomfortable. And I'm trying to consider that like, when I find content where white people are talking to each other about how they've caused harm, I'm grateful because I see the ways that like they're willing to like stand in it and say me too. But again, I don't know that I would have always appreciated that content. I don't know that I would have been able to see a white person who's been listening to black people and sharing what they've heard and applying it to themselves. I don't know that I'd always be able to appreciate that content. And so I want to hold that like for people that don't appreciate me talking about anti-blackness in the way that I do, or uplifting ways I've been anti-black or colorist, I appreciate you again for knowing that this ain't for you. But I want folks to just hold that like people are gonna grow and change, and we're not gonna always like what we see when we look back. And I think that the most important thing I can share is that like when you look back at yourself, I really hope that you remember that this is your first fucking time here. And whatever the fuck tools they gave you, because you know who they are, whatever the tools they gave you or didn't, that's what you used to fight or didn't fight. So just keep that in mind that some of y'all will look back at yourselves and cringe, but I really hope you look back and you smile. Cause that bitch fucked up. You get to do something else. Like because that person made that mistake, that last version of you, that manifestation of you, they didn't know everything, but they still was running around. You just got to think about it like that. Like there are going to be moments of your life where you really are like, how did I miss that? But it's like, bitch, that's because you looking at that bitch with these new eyes. Take your glasses off for a second and recognize that person didn't know half the shit you know. And now what they doing? Now that they're knowing, what are they doing? Just consider like you did not just pop on this earth and have any kind of guidance that was really cohesive. None of us do. And so just give yourself a little bit of grace, friends, because some people won't give you shit. At least give yourself some. Like, I feel like, again, like, there's so many people who will be like, you're not worth anything to me. And it's hurtful. But when you look at yourself, please remember, like, you actually get to start off that love, that follicle. You get to be the inspiration of the rest of it. And it's a lot of people not teaching us how to be loving towards ourselves. Like I was telling Dane the other day, like I grew up watching a woman cook a meal for everybody else. And by the time she was done, she just sat there with a cigarette. She didn't even eat. And I think about that. I think about the ways that like I refuse to do that shit. Like I told Dane, I was like, I will never be with a man that won't serve me some food. Like I saw my mom serve every man she ever was with a plate. I never saw them serve her a plate. And I think about how some of us, in our pursuit of wanting to be a woman, when we think back to all the women we saw, we're pulling from that. Some women that we saw take less, we might assume that's just what it is to be a woman. And I think about that too. That some of the things my mom accepted, she might have thought that's just what you get. And the ways I just was disgusted and attempted to kill these men. And so again, I just want to leave y'all with this is our first time here. Who knows what anyone's gonna do? Some people gonna bird around, some people gonna try to kill the birds. You know what I mean? Some people gonna do all types of things. Some people are going to do all types of things. And it's wild. And it doesn't make any fucking sense. None of it does. None of it does. But that's why I take mushrooms also, because mushrooms allow you to like literally melt the shit that is in your mind that tells you this shit is reasonable. So you're going to see a lot of people who are taking drugs who are like, oh shit, I can't keep doing this. And they're not going to. Mm, it does. That's such a thing too. Like I feel like when you're in connections with other femmes, I think that's when it's so pronounced, like how much we like you ever just be friends with certain femmes and like the way they're so giving and nurturing, and it's like, whoa, like you have so much to offer. And other femmes like, and this is not me trying to compare women, it's just me trying to offer that like I've been friends with femmes that were like, come to my house and do whatever you want. And other femmes that like as soon as you cross the threshold, they're like cooking something, making this or that, preparing this or that. I just think about how femmes we learn how to entertain. Like we're taught how to like prepare a better place for people. And I think about going to boys' houses and how their moms always were doing that for them. Whenever a boy invited me over his house, his mama was always there doing something. And I'm not saying femmes didn't have that, but so many femmes did not rely on their mom to provide snacks for their friends' hangout. And the ways that, like, again, the labor of like being a friend. Like, there's so many boys that I was friends with that will never talk to me again. And it's funny to think about. Meanwhile, there's so many femmes that are like, oh my God, like, have photos of me and like are so ready to like talk about 1999. And it's just like, whoa. It's just the labor and just like the depth of being a femme person and connecting with people. Like the way people will be like, the way people sometimes will expect me to remember them. And it's like, damn, I'm so sorry that I don't remember you, but it's the way people will be really hurt. And it won't be someone like that you really knew. But it's the way that sometimes people be like, damn, you don't remember me? And it's like, damn, bitch, I can't forget. Fuck. Like, it's the way that, like, let you forget somebody's birthday or some shit as a femme, like, you hate them. And it's like, I couldn't be busy. I couldn't have some other shit going on. It's the way that you could just be evil when you're a femme because you didn't do the thing that somebody expects you to fucking do. Like the way people call you a bitch because you tired. Or just again, just expect you to do something because they said. And if you don't, then now you're not friends no more. Like the way you could lose a friend because you want to do some shit, like, woo, man. I'm grateful we had this conversation because it really had me like sitting with a lot of things. I also started thinking of getting excited. I started getting excited again about Shakedown and us getting to watch that together because I definitely remember there was a screening of that in New Orleans. And I want to say I went to the party, but I was too busy getting faded and smiling at people and being crazy. Right now, I definitely got annoyed with one of my femme friends because like they didn't want to do something with me. But then I had to remember, like, bitch, like the fuck, like why can't people say no to you? Like, don't do that. But I definitely hold that like there are moments in our lives where we really have to just sit with like what we expect of people in our lives because sometimes we really be thinking like this is supposed to happen for me, and it's like maybe if you were a king or some shit, like maybe if you had people in captivity, like maybe if this was jail, you know what I mean? Like there's just moments where you have to just acknowledge like you're expecting people to do certain stuff or say yes, and we're all free, and some people really can't handle that, and that's unfortunate. But I know what that's like to like want your friend to be doing what you're doing, want your friend to care. And again, maybe it's just a moment to like do something different, do something by yourself, or reach out to someone new. Like some of us forget, like we can reach out to new people and see if that's a new friendship worth exploring, especially if we try to do something different and our friends ain't feeling it. Like they don't gotta do everything with us, but again, it's the ways that like your friends can feel like your family, and if they're not invested in certain things, it can feel like damn, y'all don't care, but it's not that. I feel like we just gotta remember everybody's the main character of their own show, and motherfuckers be making cameo and guest appearances, but that don't mean that they're always available to you. But anyways, I appreciate y'all for chilling in. I lied about deleting the earlier video. I decided that at the climate that we're in, I think people will be understanding if I want DDG to be, ethered. Like I think that we're at that point. I feel like YouTube didn't even flag me. They were like, you know what? We're not gonna show no Bank of America ads on this, but we understand. Anyways, I love y'all. Thank you for hanging out with me. Bye.